Hey loves, it's Britt, and in this video I'm talking about natal Sun square Saturn. So if you were born with your Sun square to Saturn in your natal chart, or if you know someone else who has this aspect, let's talk about it. So I've already done natal moon and Venus square to Saturn, which can show a block in the feminine energy of a person when you have those aspects. Now, this aspect, Sun square to Saturn, shows a block with our masculine energy. And when I talk about that, I'm talking about, men and women, we both have masculine and feminine energies within us. So it definitely applies to both, although it can manifest differently in men and women. And we'll talk about that. So with the Sun square to Saturn, this is one of those karmic aspects. So, Saturn is the planet of karma. And when we have the Sun square to Saturn, I feel like the past life or the karmic reasoning for this, or one of the potentials for this aspect, because this is a very karmic aspect, is that in a past life, there has been issues with authority. And in this lifetime, we are learning how to properly deal with authority. So you can see two sides with these people, and it does kind of depend on what signs the square is taking place in, too. There's one group of these people with Sun Square Saturn that are very regimented and very much focused on authority and have a lot of respect for authority, tradition, government. There's like maybe they're even religious, or they're just very much into authority. Okay. And like even they can be very authoritative themselves. Actually, both groups will be very authoritative themselves. Now, the other side of this is there is a big issue with authority, resentment, distrust, and yeah, they don't do well with it. And they're fine if they're the boss and they're in control, but they don't like to be on the other end of it. So, and you're gonna see that probably both sides of these people, they do prefer when they are the one in authority. But that's what I've noticed, is that there's two groups. There's people who either really like have a lot of respect for authority and tradition and very like Capricornian types, and then there's the other side that just do not like it at all. So yeah, and as far as the karmic, the past life energy here, I do think that in some cases this has been a person who has abused authority. So they could have been a leader, and they could have done things in a position of power or authority that were not for the highest good of all. And now in this lifetime, their karma is that they will be on the other side of that and have to, you know, basically have that reparation, like where they they have to learn what it's like to be on the other side of someone in authority who probably shouldn't be there. um so it's a difficult aspect. It's one of those aspects that show a hard life. That's probably what I'm going to title this video, is like, this is the hard life. So often there's going to be things in their life that are extremely challenging, extremely difficult to deal with. And the sun can represent our vitality, energy, light, leadership, confidence. These things can all be something that require a lot of effort to get into a good position. So it's not that they're not usually born with a lot of confidence. It's usually the opposite. These people are born with an inferiority complex, or a lot of negative thinking about themselves and their ability to get what they want in the world as far as achievement, as far as purpose goes. In some cases, with this aspect really close in orb, you could see that there is health problems and the vitality is zapped. So there's like two two sides of this too. Sometimes it's that the vitality is low and there's a sluggishness, there's not a lot of energy. And other times it's almost like as a reaction or response to that, these people are like powerhouses and like go 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 go, like very Capricornian, like never stop, and just inability to relax or rest, which they desperately do need with this square. And sorry, you guys, I've been really sick, so my voice is not at its best. I may cough in this video, and I maybe don't sound as good. I have had a horrible cough and cold, so these videos I do today that I'm so desperately dying to do may not be at the best audio quality as far as my voice goes, or even as far as my energy goes, so I apologize. It's funny I'm starting with Sun squaring Saturn when my vitality has been suffering in the last few weeks. So yeah, this aspect is very interesting to see because of the two-sidedness that can occur where, yeah, it's either like they're just powerhouses of energy who never stop, or like I said, the vitality is low, kind of sluggish, health problems, health crisis even. Square aspects in the natal chart can show crisis. Also the inconjunct aspect, but that will be a separate video. If I do a Sun inconjunct aspect to Saturn, that will be separate because that's a more internal aspect, where the square aspect is more external. We more see the problems outside of us, which actually can be easier to deal with because it's kind of like right in our face. But it definitely can show even more challenges and a constant kind of frustration when we have a tough square like that, or like this, sorry. So squares to Saturn in the birth chart are some of the most difficult aspects. Like one of my books says about this aspect, one of my favorite books actually, it says that, you know, when people have the sun or the moon in hard aspect to Saturn in their natal chart, this is one of those aspects that they could have so much potential, but for whatever reason, the difficulties are just too much that they end up only accomplishing like a fraction of it, right? Now, that's going to be not all the time, that's going to be more extreme cases, but you can see this aspect in the charts of people that, yeah, like there's a lot of wasted potential or missed opportunity. And, you know, they actually do realize this too. It's not like they're unconscious to it. It's not like they, you know, don't realize that they have this capability. It's like that's what Saturn can feel like in hard aspect, is that no matter what we do and no matter how hard we try, our effort is futile and it's like we feel this karma or this like, you know, am I cursed kind of energy, and that's what this square can feel like as far as our purpose goes and our outward action. But it can do kind of the opposite as well. And that's what's so interesting about this aspect, like I keep saying, is that this aspect can produce some of the most motivated people that you'll ever know. These people can accomplish so much in regards to the sign and the house of their sun and Saturn placements. It's like they can actually end up embodying like the highest potential energy of those signs, but it is usually going to be later in life. That's what kind of happens with Saturn aspects, is that we usually start out with quite a struggle. We start out when we're young, we feel very old, we feel very much burdened by our surroundings, external circumstances, the family. Specifically, this aspect is going to show father issues. Maybe he was stern, maybe he was strict or critical, or in some cases, maybe he was even absent. There's an issue here with the Saturn. The father, the Saturn, the daddy. Maybe he didn't instill into us the confidence that we felt we needed in order to accomplish in our life, in order to shine, in order to be, on the very most basic level. The sun is our being and our naturalness. And, for whatever reason, maybe he didn't have it in himself to give. He couldn't give us that. And so that's why, from childhood, our life has just been one struggle after another, and that's what it can feel like. And sometimes too, with these people, there can end up being a bit of a coldness and like a long-standing resentment of circumstances and of others, of even the family, the upbringing, the where we live. That like it's it can be a very depressing aspect, because the sun sign and those qualities are so important for actual happiness. And because when we are being our natural sun self, we feel confident, we feel alive, right? And with Saturn squaring our sun, it's like every move we make to try to feel alive or feel confident or gain success in the outer world, it's like we're getting slapped and slapped and beaten down. And no, not yet, not like that. It's not the right time. You're not the right person for the job. And they can really feel like that, they're not the right person to carry out their destiny, when in fact there is no possibility of that, because we have all, chosen this birth chart and chosen to be born at that specific time, right, by our soul, because this is what we intended to work through and work on. But the people with Sun squared to Saturn sometimes are not going to want to admit that, right? Because it's just, and why would they? It's been so hard. They have gone through things, they've gone through beatings by life that, others, us that don't have this aspect, we don't even know. We can't possibly understand the struggle that these people have gone through. So, it's fair that they feel like they wouldn't not have chose this life or this birth chart, right? But at the same time, in order to truly overcome this aspect and start to see it as the gift that it is, and like I said, that will take time. Saturn takes time. They will have to realize that yes, they did in fact choose to be born into, that family with these circumstances and these hardships. And, these lessons are maybe a part of karma, or maybe a part of, how they're going to end up actually helping and serving others. And that's one of the potentials that can happen with this aspect, is that there is, it's like they've felt so deeply how hard it is to exist on this planet and have confidence and succeed, that they really want to help like the downtrodden, like the people that have had a hard life. And so you could end up seeing these people in service oriented areas, or even helping others with confidence, helping others with even physical disabilities. That can be something they're gifted at. And it does end up showing kind of like a purpose with this type of service. It's like they know better than anybody what it's like to experience hardship. And when they, instead of focusing on, why me and why is it so hard for me and the struggle and everything, and they focus on others and how they can help alleviate that struggle for others, or help them instill confidence into themselves, they can really start to feel like they belong, and like it's all been worthwhile. And that's one thing about this aspect, is that as hard as it is, they never give up. And they do keep going. They are reliable. Even in the struggles they've gone through, they are some of the most reliable people. Like I said, perseverance, strength, and they might not see much growth or much like accomplishment. It's not going to be an overnight success story with these people, but day by day, little by little, they go a little bit more, and they go a little bit more, and a little bit more, and then they eventually do succeed, and they eventually do a lot more than other people that even have like an easy aspect of Sun to Saturn, because it's been so hard for them. It's been such a struggle. There's been so much frustration that it does end up actually being quite a motivating aspect, and quite an achievement aspect, or it can be, right? Like I said, it's up to the choices, because also, like I said, that, sometimes people with these aspects, the life is just too hard, the difficulties are just too much, that they don't accomplish anything, or they become very depressed, or they become like a shadow of what they know that they could be. um so yeah, it is really about the choices, but understanding astrology and understanding those two signs that are kind of like fighting for airtime here, um, it can be so healing and so helpful. In cardinal signs, you're going to see probably the most restless action, and always needing to achieve. That's something that is really common with this square, is like just constant like needing another achievement, needing another activity, even just like the busyness. You could probably see that more with the cardinal signs of this aspect. Fixed signs is going to be more of the internal tension, probably even possibly health problems because of the stuckness of fixed signs. And then, and I mean, you can look at the signs too, specifically, and then look at the part of the body that they rule, and like that could show where there could be potentially health issues. And then mutable signs is going to be the restlessness as well. Like the mutable signs could possibly have the most difficulty with actually achieving something, because they probably give up and go on to the next thing, and then they can struggle with the staying power with this square happening in mutable signs. But yeah, this video is getting kind of long, but it's such a karmic aspect. It's so, like, there's a profound potential in the hard aspects, more than we see with the easy aspects, because of the struggle. It's like with this aspect, the struggle is real. So I'd love to know your experience of this aspect. If you've had it in your natal chart, let me know in the comments what it's been like for you, or if you know someone with this aspect. And thank you for your requests. Keep them coming. We'll talk soon. Bye.